Well, as we know, countless media sycophants, a delusional inner circle, and even the narcissistic, self-proclaimed king himself have been touting LeBron James as the GOAT since the 2016 NBA Finals when the Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Golden State Warriors. James, for his own pathetic part, continues to drone on endlessly at every opportunity as to how he is the greatest player of all time. We know, for instance, that he calls himself that.
I'm GOAT, bro.
Bro.
G-O-A-T. What are you talking about?
We know he makes his wife call him that.
The GOAT, respectfully, LeBron James.
And recently, he disclosed his son can also call him that.
No, he got to call me like 2-3 or Brian.
Okay.
Or, GOAT if he wants to. That's up to him. I mean, it's up to him.
But all of the smoke and mirrors and revisionist history by the media, hell, not even one of those Men in Black flashy mind eraser thingies can make the 2011 NBA Finals series disappear. It was in that fateful series, the biggest choke job in NBA history that is, where at the age of 27, LeBron's GOAT case declaratively ended once and for all. Of course, it was in the summer of 2010, following yet another premature flameout in the NBA playoffs by LeBron, following yet another undeserving regular season MVP, one that should have went to Kobe Bryant, when LeBron and Dwayne Wade, after watching Bryant win yet another NBA title, decided to collude against their teams and join forces in Miami.
I remember cutting my TV off as soon as Kobe ran and grabbed that ball. I was like, LeBron.
All right.
So what you gonna do? That was our summer free agency. They were dominating. Like, Kobe was winning all these rings. I was like, wait, hold on. Now he got 5 and we got 1? Like, no.
A pairing of, at the time, the 2 best players in the league other than Kobe Bryant. But that wasn't all. They also recruited and brought in Chris Bosh that summer while he was coming off of a year where he averaged 24 points and 11 rebounds per game, finishing 4th in league-wide player efficiency rating. The team was so impossibly stacked, it was the Heat who were the preseason odds-on favorite to win the NBA title that season, not the Lakers, who were coming off of 3 consecutive finals appearances and back-to-back title wins. It was the Heat who threw a preseason championship party where LeBron, Wade, and Bosh rose up out of the stage during a damn pyrotechnics concert. And it was Bron in that little preseason title party who felt such an overwhelming amount of confidence he would declare the Heat would win not just 1 title,
not 5, not 6, not 7.
And it was then the Heat that steamrolled through the JV Eastern Conference playoffs, going 12-3 and winning all 3 of those series 4-1, easily dispatching every team along their way, including the #1 seed in the playoffs that season, the Chicago Bulls, along with league MVP Derrick Rose. No team should have been any match for this unbeatable super team, and the Heat accordingly stormed into the NBA Finals against a severely undermanned Dallas Mavericks squad with only 1 All-Star on it. 3 Hall of Famers in their absolute primes, all perennial All-Stars coming into that series, and LeBron James coming off of 2 league MVPs in a row. The Heat would take a 2-1 series lead en route to capturing LeBron's long-awaited first NBA championship. But not so fast, because of course James would accordingly take a colossal dump in his pants throughout the entire series. But that, as they say, is a story for another day. More specifically for this video, let's spotlight that Game 4 steamer in particular, a game which constitutes the worst game ever played in NBA history. A moment where, if you had to pinpoint one amid a 21-year career, that is the decisive reason LeBron is not and never will be anywhere near any GOAT conversations, this would be the game. Again, the Miami Heat were up 2-1 in the series going into the pivotal Game 4 showdown. Pivotal in the sense that at the time, no team had ever overcome a 3-1 hole in that round of the playoffs ever. A win for the Miami Heat would have been all but the death knell for the Mavericks' title hopes, and D. Wade, along with Chris Bosh, came to play that night. Dwayne Wade, in fact, had a game-high 32 points on 13 of 20 shooting, easily pacing not just his Heat squad, but outscoring anyone on the Mavericks as well. In fact, eventual series MVP Dirk Nowitzki didn't even play all that well in Game 4, scoring just 21 points for the game on 6 of 19 shooting. And actually the third option on the Heat and perpetual scapegoat Chris Bosh even outplayed Dirk in that game, dropping 24 points on 9 of 19. All the Heat needed was for the then 27-year-old back-to-back league MVP, who was in his 8th NBA season at the time and making his 2nd career finals appearance, to not play like complete and utter garbage. Check that, they just needed him to have a mediocre game. Hell, just play a poor game. The only thing the Heat couldn't overcome was the worst game ever played in NBA history. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you LeBron James, who scored 8 points in the game. 8! And look, he wasn't sick or injured in this game. He didn't get hurt halfway through it and leave. He wasn't in foul trouble. He played in 45 minutes of a game that ended in regulation. He in fact played more minutes than anyone in the game on either team. All but 3 minutes for the night, and managed just 8 points. But as is usually the case with LeBron, he saved his best for last. Because even despite the monumental crap he took in his pants in that game, the Miami Heat could all but taste the win in this one, leading by 9 points in the fourth quarter, up 74-65 with 10 minutes remaining. But LeBron couldn't be bothered to score a single point in the fourth quarter. Wade, Bosh, Udonis Haslem, and Mike Miller were the only 4 Heat players to score a point in that final stanza. LeBron, meanwhile, who played all 12 minutes in the fourth quarter, took only 1 shot attempt. The 8 points for the back-to-back league MVP in his 8th NBA season, who many were already ridiculously touting as the best player in the world at the time of that series, was tied for the 8th leading scorer in that game, as he was outscored by Wade, Bosh, Nowitzki, Tyson Chandler, Jason Terry, Sean Marion, and Deshaun Stevenson. Oh yeah, and JJ Barea also scored 8 points in 21 minutes. Again, LeBron played 45 minutes in this game. When the smoke cleared and the dust had settled, that 9-point fourth quarter lead evaporated for the Heat, and the Mavericks pulled out an 86-83 victory. It was that close to a decisive 3-1 series lead and what would have inevitably been LeBron's first career NBA title. Instead, it became the first of 3 consecutive losses as the Heat blew the 2-1 series lead and the Mavericks stunned the basketball world. None of it, though, would have been even remotely possible had LeBron James not played the worst game in NBA history.